You are at the free webinar, Search Engine Optimization and Landing Page Design, and I am your presenter today. My name is Michelle Ann Sherritt. I am the Vice President of Situated Research. A little bit about today's session. This is a 60-minute webinar. I would advise you to have pen or pencil with paper to take notes. There is a lot of information that will be discussed today, and you will want to take notes on that information. Also, ask questions in your chat box. Again, in your upper right-hand corner, that's where you're going to type all your questions today. I suggest that you type your questions as you think of them, and we will go over them during the big Q&A session at the very end. Any questions after today's webinar, please email them to Marion@situatedresearch.com. She is our person who's going to be taking all questions and answering those from today's session. The format for today's webinar is I'm going to do a brief introduction about who I am and just one slide about our company, just so that we can introduce ourselves to you. Then we'll get right into the presentation. Embedded within the presentation will be tips and guidelines for you to follow. I also put some poll questions in there, so if you're new to webinars, you'll just click on your answer and then click the word submit. And then I like to do that to keep everybody involved, so to keep it interactive as well. And then at the very end, we'll have a huge Q&A session, so those questions that you're typing in as we go along, we'll go ahead and answer those in chronological order. Any questions that we don't get to just due to time, we will email you the answers to those questions. And then at the very end, we have a discount on a service that we provide that will help you with everything that we're going to talk about today. Because it is a little overwhelming. There's a lot of information. There's a lot involved. And we're basically giving you the basic information today. So to get more in detail and to get more help with your website, we are going to offer you a special discount. So that's only for people who are attending today, and that will be at the very end. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Michelle Sherritt. I am the Vice President of our company called Situated Research. I have over 15 years of business experience in several different industries. Ranging from medical to the restaurant industry, different types of industries. And along with my degree in psychology, with an emphasis in behavioral psychology and my great people skills and communication skills, it's a great fit for the position that I'm in now with our company. I'm able to talk to our potential clients, I'm able to convey their ideas to our staff, and we're able to get the client's vision of what they want their website to look like at the very end. So they're very happy with the job that we do, and it's because of that experience. So a little bit about our company. I'm sure a lot of you have gone to our website, but if you haven't, this is just a little bit about it. We are called Situated Research. We're located in the suburbs of Chicago. We started the company in January of '09, so last year, but we have over 13 years of website development and design experience behind us. And we also have my husband, Dr. Matthew Sherritt, who obtained his PhD in May of 2008, and he is our usability expert. So all of our websites, everything that we develop goes through, we make it sure that it's user-friendly. So it goes through usability research and testing. There's a lot involved with that, but he performs all of that. We do usability research and testing on video games, software, and of course websites. And we also do website development and design. So I always like to start out my webinars by explaining why we are doing this webinar for free. A lot of people ask us, so I like to answer that question. We do this webinar for free. This is actually the first time we're doing this particular webinar, but we have done several other webinars, and you can view all of those recordings and view what the topics were on the webinars page of our website. We do this because clients have expressed interest in the topics that we've talked about. They have expressed interest in our social media webinar series that we did spring of last year. You can view all the recordings on our website. We went over blogs, how to get started on social media networks, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, kind of went through all of those, so each one had its own webinar. And people attended those webinars, and they got very valuable information out of that. And so they said, you know, you have all this expertise and knowledge, keep sharing it with business owners because business owners need to know this information. Website companies out there hide the information that we're going to talk about specifically today. Why? Because they want to make money. They want to keep that from you so that you have no clue what they're doing behind the scenes and so that they can charge more for those services. And so hopefully by the end of today's session, you'll have a better understanding of search engine optimization and landing pages because those are huge with the success of your website. And we've also launched a social media marketing campaign now for our clients and potential clients. And that's sort of where our special offer comes in at the end today. So it's a special discounted offer for you folks. And I'll give you more information about that at the very end. So the overview of the topics that we're going to talk about today are landing page design. What is a landing page? What is a good design of a landing page? We're going to talk about how to raise your search ranking on Google. What does Google look for in order to rank your website? What you need to have within your website. How to generate inbound links, so people linking back to your website so that you can increase traffic, raise your search engine optimization score, raise your search ranking on Google. How to raise your organic search ranking, so what does that even mean and how do we do this? And we're going to learn the categories of SEO examined by Google. What does Google look for? What categories do they look for in order to rank your website? All important information that a business owner does need to know, especially if you're starting a website project. If you already have a website, this is still good information to know because you may not be getting found on the search engines. So all the information that we're going to talk about today will help you. So let's talk about what is a landing page. You use a landing page, obviously, for online marketing. And sometimes it's also known as a lead capture page. It's a page that your website visitors will arrive at after clicking on a link. So it could be your home page or any other page in your site. Here at Situated Research, we prefer that it be a different page than your home page. And we'll explain why we believe that in just a moment. You can advertise. The best way to do this, and what's worked great for Situated Research, and we've gotten a lot of business, is LinkedIn. So you'll hear me talk a lot about LinkedIn. It's a business social network, so if you're not on it, I would suggest getting on it. But that's a great place because on your groups, you can advertise different offerings that you're offering through your company. So you can talk about your services. You can talk about signing up for your company newsletter. You can talk about a webinar that you are going to have, an event that you're going to have, anything. And you provide a link. That link is going to be the landing page. That's the link. They're going to click on that link, and then that's going to bring them to your website on a page that you're landing them on. So that's what a landing page is. And it can also be an information page as well if you're just trying to get information out about your services or product that you offer. So what should a landing page include? It should include a customized sales pitch for your customer, the visitor or user. So you'll hear me during the webinar today talk about visitors, users, customers. They're all the same thing. Anyone who's coming to your website. So you want to consider where this person's coming from. So if you advertise something on LinkedIn, look at the group that you advertise that in. See who the people are, what their backgrounds are. Take all of that into consideration when thinking about making and developing a landing page. Think about who they are. By knowing this information, you will raise your conversion rate and interest rate. Because if you have a group on a certain topic that you posted to about your services, or about an upcoming webinar that you're going to have, and you bring them to a landing page on your website, if it has nothing to do with that group that you first advertised in, they're going to lose interest, they're going to leave. You're not going to get them to sign up for the webinar or newsletter or whatever you're trying to do. There's a misconception. Here's where we're going to talk about dropping people into your home page instead of a specific page on what you want them to look at. The problem with dumping people on your home page is that that person has to take a couple seconds to look around the website to find the information that they came for in the first place. So if you're advertising about a webinar, like we did on LinkedIn on some of the groups on today's webinar, and you bring them to a page that has nothing to do about search engine optimization or about the webinar, they have to look around your website to find that information. And statistics show that they only take a couple seconds to look around your website. If it's too hard for them to find the information or they weren't brought to the page with that information, they're going to leave and go somewhere else. So that's why here at Situated Research, we say don't drop people on the home page, drop them on a specific landing page that you're talking about. You want to make sure that you captivate your audience on the page that you bring them to. Don't do false advertising, like I just said. Don't bring them to your home page when it has nothing to do with what you advertised for. Make sure that what you promised is on the landing page that you take your user to. Make sure that there are no distractions on this landing page. This can be in the form of links to other services that you offer. They didn't click on that link of that ad to be brought to a page that talks about all your services and to be overwhelmed. They came because they were really interested in the topic that you advertised about. You will lose your user before they read your message if this is done. So make sure that there are no distractions. So you're thinking, when do you use a landing page? You want to create a targeted landing page so that you can control where people will be coming from. So your goal in a specific transaction is either you're trying to sell them a product or service, you're trying to get them to register for something, you're trying to get them to sign up for something like a newsletter or an event. So you have to have a purpose for that landing page. Now, there are a lot of ways to do this. You can pay for traffic, so you can get banner ads on this page, sponsored links, pay-per-clicks, but you don't really want to do that for the specific landing page. You want to make sure that you are being specific, you're targeting who's going to be coming to this landing page, and you keep that landing page to what you specified within the ad that they clicked on. So tips for good design for a landing page. We're going to go through these guidelines right now, what we believe to be the top tips for good design. The first thing is content relevance. You want to make sure that the content is relevant to what people were looking for in the first place. So if you place an ad on, say, LinkedIn about today's webinar on search engine optimization and landing page design, you want to make sure that the content on the page that they land on is about that topic. The closer the match, the better your conversion rate. So if it's totally off topic and it's talking about all your services and you're overwhelming someone, they're going to leave that page. Your conversion rate will go down. So you want to make sure that you're staying on topic, that your content is relevant, so that you have the more chances of giving them more information about that topic that they're originally interested in, and so that they click on registering, signing up, or purchasing your product or service. Make sure that you're concise on this landing page. Make sure that you are making sure that the information is relevant. Usually people who come to this page have a short attention span. So they just want bullet points of the information that they came there for. So no more than 3 sentences. Give them information, but make sure that information is concise. Make sure that when they arrive to the landing page that they're ready to buy. So make sure that the ad that you post on, say, LinkedIn, for example, grabs their attention, it's relevant to the group, and it sparks their interest so that they are brought to your website. Get straight to the point. Make sure the landing page is a highly customized marketing copy. So if you need to hire someone, a copywriter to write the ad for LinkedIn or to write your landing page, do so. It'll be worth it. You want to make sure that you're not distracting them with advertisements on this page or links to other websites. And don't make your user go through a bunch of hoops to get what they came for. A lot of people, a lot of landing pages that we see that are designed, they have a lot of information, paragraph after paragraph. They're offering all their services. They're overwhelming users. And in order, the people came to the page to sign up, say, for a newsletter. And then they come to the page, and it's all about their services, and they get overwhelmed. And then they say, click here to learn more about our newsletter. Then you go to another page about their newsletter. Then you have to click somewhere else to subscribe. So it's going through a lot of hoops. People who are interested in the ad were interested for a reason. They were interested in the service or a product that you're offering. They don't want to be taken through several pages once they get to your website to accomplish the goal that they came there to do. So make sure that all the information is on that one page. Make sure that you focus. Dedicate one landing page to one product or service you provide. Again, don't overwhelm them with all of your services. If they're interested in that one service, most likely they're going to click through your website to see what other services you offer. Don't overwhelm them. I can't stress this enough because we have a lot of clients that come to us that want landing pages designed, but they want all their services put on there, and that's not the purpose of a landing page. Be factual. Use facts and figures instead of generalizations. A generalization would be like prices were reduced this year. Instead, make it factual. Say prices were reduced by 20%. That's just an example of an information landing page. But just make sure that it's factual if you're going to have facts in there. Make sure that you have a clear call to action. Tell your visitors that you want them to buy something, that you want them to sign up for your newsletter or whatever it is. Tell them that you want them to register for your webinar. Tell them, just make sure that it's clear. If you go to our webinars page, you will see that we say, seats are filling up fast, which they always are. But we say seats are filling up fast. Please sign up today. That's our call to action. And then we give them the link to sign up. So, and also make sure that you keep the call to action in bold. So make sure that it's standing out, that they know what they're supposed to do when they come to that page. Make sure that you have readable text. Words sell on landing pages. So make sure that it's readable. A white background with black text is going to sell more than a red background with black text. It's not visually appealing. So that's kind of where usability comes into play and where you need to go with a company that has a usability background because that is important. Navigation links are a big no-no. Only link that you want is a call to action link. Signing up for something, registering for something. So like today's webinar. The only link that we had on that page was to sign up for our webinar. That was it. We didn't overwhelm them with other links. Make sure, we're going to talk about graphics and images on landing pages. Keep them to a minimum, if not at all. Unless you have a video company or an audio company and that's your business and you want to show some examples. Otherwise, don't do it. Words sell, not graphics and images on a landing page. Of course, this is kind of common sense, grammatical and spelling errors, but you would be surprised to how many people have these issues all through their website, just not including landing pages. Just make sure that the content that you're putting on that landing page, check through it several times, have a couple people look at it, hire a copywriter to write the content. You don't want to give your visitors a negative impression of you and your company. So you want to make sure that you are checking for grammatical and spelling errors and that there are none. You should want your website to be perfect anyway. But if there are grammatical and spelling errors, you will see these people will never come back to your website again. Then they will not refer you to other people. And other people will not come back to your website and recommend you. It's a first impression. It's always important. So make sure that you keep that in mind. It is common sense. Some of you are saying, yeah, I would think that someone would think about this, but you'd be surprised. Make the landing page personal. Connect with your visitor. So wherever you post that ad, really check out that group or wherever you're posting it to. And make sure that you're doing a background on those people who are possibly going to be coming to your website. Use a lot of yous and your in your text because that will grab the person's attention. That will draw them into the page. Make your text clear and simple to understand. Use terms and phrases that people readily understand and use short sentences. Bullet points are great for landing pages. If you do all of this, landing pages will support good conversion rates for you. Take the time to think and rethink the page. Work and rework your landing pages. Don't just optimize for search engines. You need to optimize for humans as well. Humans give you sales, not search engines, even though that's important. You want to make sure that you are drawing in the user, the visitor, the person who's coming to your website so that you get high conversion rates to whatever reason you brought them to that page. So like I said, I like to do polls. So I'm going to go ahead and launch our first poll. And I want to know, do you currently use landing pages in your company's website? So just click on your answer, yes, no, or you're unsure. And then click the word submit. And then we'll go ahead and close that poll. So I'll give you guys a few seconds. I can see how many people have voted. So once we have almost everyone, I'll go ahead and close that. Okay, so we have about 8%. I'm going to go ahead and close it. 54% of you do currently use landing pages. 46% of you don't, and no one's unsure, which is a good thing. Okay, great. Now what we're going to talk about is raising your search ranking on Google. This is huge. Webmasters and website companies can raise your ranking. So when a website firm or company comes to you and they say, you know, we can make your website and develop it, but we can also raise your search ranking. It's not a scam. They're not trying to make more money. They're trying to help get the website that they just developed up on the search ranking so that you have a good conversion rate of people coming to your website that turn into sales, that turn into clients. So it's not a scam. They're trying to help you. They want what they created to prosper because it's a representation of them and their company. It's also a representation of you and your company. So they want to see it succeed. This list is not finished that we're going to go through right now, but it's a great starting point for you as a business owner to start thinking about, talk with your webmaster, talk with your website firm, or if you don't have one, contact us. We'd be more than happy to help you with these strategies. So the first is title tags. Title tags appear in the link that pops up in the search result box. So you want to make sure that you have title tags. Webmasters and web design firms will know more about title tags. These are embedded within the coding of your website. So you want to make sure that this is done. The words in the title tag appear in the link that pops up in the search results. So this is where you tell the search engine and the person who's visiting your website what needs to be known. So the company or publication name is relevant, targeted keywords or keyword phrases taken from the text of the page. Each page should have a title tag as Google ranks each page individually, not your website as a whole. So that's something that a lot of people, a lot of our clients have a misconception is that Google's looking at your website as a whole. No, they're actually ranking every page of your website. So you need to make sure that you have title tags on every page of your website. The next area that is very important with raising your search ranking is your content. Content is always very important. The quality of content, not quantity. A lot of people have the misconception also that the more words that they have on their website, the higher their ranking will be. If that content's not relevant and you're just repeating yourself or repeating your general message over and over again, you're not going to have a very high ranking score. Google actually looks at your content. They want to make sure that that content is rich in keywords, that you're targeting your audience with those keywords. And keywords should not be overused. A lot of people think that the keywords that you use on your homepage should be the same. You should be adding those keywords to the next page and so on and so forth. By the time you get to the last page of your website, you have all the keywords for the whole website listed. That's a huge misconception. The problem with that is if you overstuff your website with keywords. It has a negative outcome. Google won't even rank your website at that point. So this is all information that you can find on the internet, on the Google websites, see how they rank your search ranking. But just keep in mind that you're not overstuffing your keywords. You're not overusing them. Make sure that your keywords are ones that you want people to find you under. Just don't list every keyword that you think that they would search for you for. Think of who's coming to your website, what kind of people are coming to your website, what are their backgrounds, and use that to pick your keywords. Quality links is the next point, or more specifically backlinks, links to your site from outside sources. Links are your letters of recommendation per se. If nobody's recommending you or your company or your product or service, then it's not going to work. Authority links, those are actually weighted most heavily. So try to get industry-related authority sites to link to your site. For example, on our website, we conduct usability research and testing. So I have a couple of government websites that are actually linking our website on theirs. So when people go to their government website, they'll see situated research, they can click on it, and they're brought to our website. So that's a quality link. That's an authority link. So you want to get some of those. Excuse me. If you can't, it's very hard to get those because authority links such as the government or anyone with high authority within your industry, they want to make sure that you're a legitimate company. They want to do background checks. They want to, there's a whole list of things that they want to do. So try to get people within your industry, first of all, to link to your website and then go after the authority links. Like I just said, we're going to talk about quantity links. We kind of just did. Authority links are hard to get, so make sure that you're starting with people who are within your industry first to link to you. So start somewhere to increase your branding. There's things out there called link swaps. This could be good and this could be bad. We actually have a client that are some friends of ours who had a company approach them, and they said, you know, we'll list you in our directory of acupuncturists if you put a link to our company website on your website. Well, there's a couple problems with that. One is, you know, we made their website. Now we're giving them a link to a different website. So we're going to be taking them away from our friend's website, which is always a bad thing. You never want to do that. And so how we got around that is we linked them. But instead, when you click on the link, a pop-out window pops out. And it's like a new browser window. And that person's website comes up. You can look through it as you would in a new browser window. But when you're done, you can click close, and you're still on our friend's website. So there's good and bad things about that. The bad thing with this particular situation is that, yes, now they're linked on this person's website in their directory, but you specifically have to look for them. So if you're not specifically looking for them on this person's website, you're not going to find them. So, you know, they kind of swindled our friend, and we did it anyway, but we got around that by doing that pop-out window, so you're not leaving the website at all. But be wary of that, of link swaps. You also want to submit your website to directories like Domaz, Yahoo. These are two top directories for listings of companies by your industry. So these are actually humans actually look at your website to determine the relevancy or importance of your website before they put you into the directory. So it's not computerized. So you want to make sure that you're put into these directories. And it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to be put into these directories. Your URL is, the importance of the URL is often debated, but one argument seems to make more sense than the others. Search engines don't like too many parameters in the URL, so it's easy to confuse the spiders. They call it spiders that actually crawl through your website. Google has spiders that go through your website to look for certain criteria, which we'll go through in just a little while. So you want to make sure that they're not too long, because people have to look at your URL at a glance and be able to remember it. It's not only good for them remembering your company, for passing it along, for typing it in, but it's just good industry standards. You want to make sure that it's short and sweet. And make sure that there are some keywords within your URL also. That's always a good idea to do. Now we kind of just talked about spiders. So Google has what they call spiders that crawl through your website that look for certain criteria. Search engines, think of it as an actual spider. They eat HTML, not Flash. So if your website's all full of Flash, your search ranking isn't going to be very high because it's looking for HTML. It's looking for coding. It's not looking for Flash, animation. It eats text, not pictures. So don't swamp your website with pictures or your search engine ranking will be very low. So you want to make sure that's why text and content is so important. The architecture of your website is very important. There's a lot to consider here, but the goal is creating a site that spiders can easily access, a site that tells them where to go and what to index. We call different things in websites, we call wireframes. That's the architecture of your website. We also have sitemaps within the industry, which is basically an outline of your website. So a lot of people say, I don't need a sitemap on my website because I have a very small website. I only have 3 pages, so what's the point? It's very vital to the search engines ranking your website. So you want to make sure that you have a sitemap always. And so that requires an information architect to actually look at your website to design that for you. You want to make sure that the content within your website is frequently updated. Ideally, every month would be great, but it could get a little expensive if you're not able to edit your website yourself. A lot of website companies do have maintenance, different packages. So they could say, you get 4 updates a month for $199. That just happens to be what ours is. Or it's $75 an hour is typical. But if you can't do that every month and you don't want to take the time to do it, at least update the content on your website every 4 months. This gets people to come back to your website. If you think about it, when you go to a website, you are getting the information that you want, you're ordering the product, and you leave. And most likely you're never going to come back. If the content is constantly updated, it gives people a reason to come back if they're interested in your product or service. But a great way to keep people coming back is integrating a blog into your website. Google actually, we're going to go through this in just a moment, what Google looks at to give you your search ranking, but one of the criteria is a blog. So if you don't have a blog with your company yet, that's lowering your search ranking score right now. So what you want to do, the best way to keep to have people come back to your website is to integrate a blog into your website. A great example of this is go to our website, situatedresearch.com, click on our blog, and you'll see that it looks and feels the same way as the rest of our website. You're not leaving our website to go to a blog. You're staying within our website, and all of the information is right there. Our blog is a WordPress blog, but the way that we did this is we manipulated the code and made it look and feel like the rest of our website, so you're not leaving our website anymore. So we do that for our clients. It's a big seller right now because they realize that Google wants to see a blog, and it's really important not to have people leave your website. So this is a great way to keep that from happening. So start a blog. We actually have in our social media webinar series on our webinars page how to start a blog. A lot of people get overwhelmed and say, I can't update it every week. This is going to be a lot of work. It actually only takes about an hour out of your work week to update it. And there are companies that will do this for you for a rate every month. We do this as well. So if you're interested in that, please contact us. But a blog is great because not only does it keep people coming back to your website because you're constantly updating it, with interesting information that they're already interested in, it establishes yourself as an authority voice, an authority figure, an expert within your industry. It gets your credibility up, trust within your company, your branding up. It's another entry point for updated information, and it keeps people coming back, and it increases the traffic to your website. Now, the next thing we're going to talk real briefly is about inbound links. Again, during that social media webinar series, we had a whole 90-minute webinar on inbound links. So check it out. The recording is on the webinars page of our website. But basically, inbound links is just getting people to link back to your website. A great way to do this is to get involved with Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. These are the 3 social media websites that Situated Research works with, and they have helped us out tremendously. This is where all of our business comes from. The gist of inbound links is that the more inbound links you can get coming to your website, the higher your ranking on Google will be. And again, in just a moment, we're going to go through exactly what Google looks at. And most importantly, don't forget about the people that are coming to your website. They're the most important. So make sure that you design your website accordingly. Do not do this on your own because you're going to miss everything that we've talked about so far today and what we will talk about. Without people, what is the point of having a website? So design your website for them. Then tweak to please the Google ranks, the search engines. Then do that. But always think about your user first, the person who's going to be coming to your website. Basically, make it a user-centric website. Get a professional that specializes in this area. There are not too many web design firms out there that have real specialists in this area, so it's going to be hard to find. We, of course, are one. So if you are interested in doing anything that we've talked about today, just contact us. So I want to do another interactive poll, and I want to know who developed your company's website. So did you develop it yourself using a free tool on the internet? Did you attend an all-day workshop or seminar where you had you spent the whole day and you made a website? Did you hire a web design firm, or did you have a friend help you? So just simply click on your answer. This is just for our own information, our own curiosity, just to see the types of companies that are coming to our webinars and see how they develop their websites. And so it looks like 60% of you did it yourself, and about 40% of you hired a website firm. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for participating in the poll. Now we're going to talk real briefly about organic search rankings and organic searches. This is basically just a search that returns results by indexing pages based on content and keyword relevancy. So it's not based on who paid what for their ranking, because you can pay to get your ranking up. So this is a free way to do it. And there are some pros and some cons to doing this. One of the pros to doing this is that you get greater click-throughs. So people actually trust organically grown search results more than they do sponsored results. So while the engine's business is supported by paid ads, many customers prefer the organic search results. And so therefore, while paid ads can play an important part in your marketing strategy, ultimately it's the organic search results that will more likely yield the greater click-throughs. The other pro to this is the power of branding. More and more large corporations are investing their resources into organic search to gain the marketing benefits of promoting their brand. For example, most consumers would expect to find Dell.com in a search for computers. If your company does not show up for the keyword results in which you'd expect to appear, it can be embarrassing. So consumers may wonder if company X is as important as they once were if they don't even show up in MSN, Yahoo, or Google. So that's important. Branding is very important. There's greater trust with organic searches. and organic searching it's free. So after years and years of submitting to Google, now there's a tool where you can do this for free. So if you're interested in doing this, please contact a website firm to do this for you, to help set this up for you. Some cons to this are that it's not automatic. Organic listings, you cannot simply hand over a certain amount of money and it's guaranteed to quickly and automatically achieve your ranking that you want. And it's a time investment. So you want to make sure that you go with someone who knows how to do this. So you can see there's pros and cons. The pros do outweigh the cons, so it is a good way to get your ranking up there, but just know that it is a huge time investment. Now, I kind of want to go over a free website that's available to everyone, and you can actually, we're going to go to this website right now. It's through HubSpot, so some of you have heard of that company. It's a free website. It measures the marketing effectiveness of a website. It gives you a score out of 100. It tells you what your website traffic is. It goes through SEO, how popular your website is, and other factors. And it also provides basic advice to you. So we're actually going to go to it now. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to websitegrader.com. And you're going to enter in your URL. That's the first step. So enter in your company's URL. What's going to happen is it takes a few minutes to generate the report, but it's going to give you a score out of 100. This is the different areas it's going to show you are the different areas that Google actually looks through to give you a ranking. So just real briefly, because I know we're tight on time, I went ahead and put in our company's URL, so situatedresearch.com. Took a few minutes to generate the report, and now you can review the report. So Website Grader gave us a 96.9 out of 100, which is really good. Here at Situated Research, we say anything over 80 is really good. Anything under 80 needs a lot of work. So if your score is under 80, make sure that you get with a company that can help raise your score. We, of course, do that for you. And I'm going to go through real briefly. You can look at this after today's session, but just real briefly go through the areas that they look at. A lot of the areas we've kind of already talked about and touched upon, but some we have not. So if you go through, you can see our score. You can see our ranking out of how many websites Google has ranked. You can see our score and what that means. And so the areas that they look at are on-page SEO, so the tags that you use within your code, headings that you put within your code, image summaries. So you can go through and read the specifics on each of these areas to understand them a little bit more. An expert's really going to be able to tell you the specifics of these areas in more detail. This kind of gives you a brief overview so you can at least understand how you get ranked on search engines. As you scroll down, they also look at off-page SEO. They look at how long you've purchased your domain for. And this is huge. A lot of our clients, they purchase their domain and hosting for a year at a time. Anytime you go under a year, so a month goes by, so now you're down to 11 months and however many days, your search ranking goes down. People don't even think of this. This is something that search engines actually look at because they think that if you purchase more than 1 year at a time, you believe in your company, you believe in your website, your company's not going anywhere, so they think that your website's important. So the more ways that you can make them think that, the better. They also look through your traffic, see inbound links. So the more inbound links we can get, the better. Again, to get a couple hundred inbound links to your website takes a couple years to do. So we're doing good right now with 50. That's actually gone up. The DOMAS directory and the Yahoo directory that we talked about earlier, we're not in there yet because we just did this about 4 months ago. It can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Like I said, these are human rated directories, so people, it's not computerized, so people actually have to look at our website and go through it with their criteria. And see, it looks for a blog. So if you don't have a blog, your score is going to be very, very low. And you want to make sure that that blog is integrated within your website so that it looks and feels like the rest of your website. It gives you your blog grade. It goes through some articles. It even goes through social media. So are you digging those articles? What does that mean? And it also goes through conversion forms. Do you have a conversion form, like any form on your website that someone has to fill out and information is emailed to you? Contact Us form is a great way to accomplish this goal. So again, you can look at this after today's session. It's a great free tool out there, so I just wanted to share that with you. And you can test your website and see what your ranking is. Again, anything under 80 needs a lot of work, so make sure that you bring in an expert within the field to help you with that. So just a recap of today's webinar, we talked about landing page design. What is a landing page? How do you design a good landing page that will give you a high conversion rate? We talked about raising your search ranking on Google, and just now we kind of went through some of the categories that search engines are actually looking through to give you that ranking. We talked about how to generate inbound links, and we talked about organic search ranking. So now we're going to do the Q&A session. So again, you should have been writing your questions in your chat box throughout today's session. If not, type them in now. I'm going to go ahead and see. Sometimes we have questions, sometimes we don't. And so I see, do you have a URL for website ranking? Okay, so somebody asked, do you have a URL for website ranking? That would be websitegrader.com that we just went to. So make sure that you check that out. Make sure that you check out your company's website and see where you rank. A lot of companies that we look at have a very low score. There are some that have a high score because they invested that time and energy into making sure that the website that they developed actually was bringing in people to their website, so they had to make sure that their search ranking was high. So check out your website. I'm just reading through to look for questions. Okay, someone said, how about a combination of text and photos? Should text be actually typed text or graphical text? Typed text. Any text that's within a photo needs to be in its own field, not incorporated within the photo. So if you have like a banner and you have text on that banner, the search engines will not recognize that text, so it's useless. It's good for advertising, but they're not going to be able to index it. So you want to make sure that it's typed text. Someone said, can you have expiration dates for your landing pages? Of course you can. So today for the webinar, after it's completed, you won't be brought to that same page. You'll be brought to our general webinars page that has all of the recordings listed. So yes, you can do that. The only thing with that is that you need to have a webmaster, someone who can take that landing page out of your website after that event expires. Is it a good idea to generate links by going to industry blogs and then commenting with your name linking back to your site? Yes, this is a great way. And again, go to our social media webinar series on inbound linking, and I teach you how to do this. But that's exactly right. We use LinkedIn a lot, and we talk about topics. We comment on people's posts, and at the end of the post I put my name, my company name, and a link to the homepage of our website, or a link to a page on our website that has to do with the topic that we were talking about. So yes, that is a great way to bring in inbound links, because anyone who clicks on that link will be brought to our website, and that's an inbound link from LinkedIn. So definitely do that. Okay. Okay, someone just performed the website grader on their website, and they said that HubSpot said that they have too many images. Okay. How do you improve this? A great way to improve this, if you go to our website, under services, we also do photography. So a lot of people who need profile pictures for their website or they're artists and they need photos of their work on their website, you can see an example of what I'm going to talk about right now. It's a pop-out box that pops out of the screen. And so you can click through the different samples that we have. So instead of coming to a website page and all of the images are right there smacked on the page, that's what HubSpot's talking about. You want to keep from doing that. By having the pop-out, you're eliminating this. They're not seeing all the photos. They see the one little click where you click, and they think of that as one photo image. So that's the great thing about having a pop-out box with the images that you can scroll through. And it also leaves that web page uncluttered as well. It doesn't make it look as overwhelming either, so it appeals to the user. So yes, if you have too many images, that's probably why, and that's a great way to eliminate that problem. And I don't see any other questions. These were great questions. So if you do have any other questions, the last screen will be our contact information. I'll tell you where to email those to. So the special offer that I was telling you about is on our social media marketing campaign. It's going to help you with everything that we talked about today. For 2 months, we go over everything that we talked about today and a lot more. We talk about actually advertising on social media outlets like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And we post to all 3 of these. We post advertisements to your company's website for 2 months for you. At the end of the 2 months, we teach you how to keep it up. And if you don't have the time to do it or you don't want to do it, you want us to continue doing that for you, we can do that for you for a small monthly fee. Also, we give you weekly professional reports of how the social media marketing is working for your website, for your company, and that includes incorporating Google Analytics, hooking that up to your website so that we can actually make sure that we are looking at that performance and seeing where people are coming from and making sure that the social media marketing is working. Normally, this is a $2,200 cost, but for everyone who attended today, we are going to offer this for $1,700 for everyone who came today. So this offer is only good until next Friday, and so you want to make sure that you take advantage. If you are interested in this offer or want to learn more about this offer, please email us. Again, our company is called Situated Research, and again, any questions that you have about today's session that were not answered, any other questions that you might have, if you're interested in the campaign, please email us. So the email is there. If you have questions about anything and you want to talk to someone, please contact Marian Wozniak. She is going to be the person who will be answering questions for this specific webinar today. So there's her name, her email, and her phone number. If you want to contact Situated Research directly, there's our phone number, as well as the URL to our website. We also, of course, have our company blog. So if you don't have a company blog yet and you're interested in getting one and you want to integrate within your website, definitely check out ours so that you can see how that works. You can also find us on LinkedIn. We have 2 groups on LinkedIn that you can subscribe to. The first is usability and user experience. So we just talk about usability, users who come to the website, how to keep them on the website, all kinds of topics. We have a great panel of people who are on that group. And then we have our Naperville Business Network, where we have local businesses around the area that we talk to and kind of help out, and we help each other out. So if you're in our area, please subscribe to that group as well. We are also doing what we call a free usability evaluation. And if you want one, you can go to this link here that we're providing. Basically what it is it's a usability evaluation of your current website. So we're looking over 20 different areas of usability. We're evaluating your website. It's free. You get about 14 to 20 page report back to you explaining what we were looking for, what your website was lacking, what it did well in, and how to improve it. So that is free. So if you are interested, please go to the link that's listed here, and you just put in your name, your phone number, and your URL to your website, and you'll have it between 1 to 2 business days. Again, the webinar special for the social media marketing campaign does end on February 5th at midnight, so make sure that you take advantage of that offer. It's a great value. We perform everything for you for 2 months. You don't really have to do anything for 2 months. And then after that, if you want us to continue doing it, it's just a small fee of $180 a month to keep doing that for you. Or we can turn it over to you and we teach you how to do it. So it's just placing ads, getting your website known on social media outlets instead of print advertising. And also sign up for our newsletter. You can do that on our homepage or our Contact Us page. You'll get a monthly newsletter with discounts that are different from what we offer on the website, upcoming webinars, and so much more. So I want to thank all of you for attending today's session. Again, if you have any questions, please email us. We get back to you right away. And I hope that you enjoyed today's session. We will have upcoming webinars listed on our webinars page the end of this week. So we'll have new topics. So tell your coworkers, tell your friends if they're interested in the services that we offer or the subjects that we talk about. So check that out. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and hopefully you'll be attending some of our future webinars. Thank you so much.